Now, obviously, Deadpool is peak Ryan Reynolds when he's at his most pure and hilarious. And Hollywood tries to, of course, replicate that in other movies. So he works a lot these days. He was working a lot before Deadpool even, but I think his dance card really got full once that franchise took off. And I think that nothing has come close to the hilarity of Deadpool until now. Now, Free Guy isn't at Deadpool level, but I would say it is definitely the next best thing. Ryan Reynolds is incredibly funny, especially when he's allowed to do whatever he wants. That's why I think like Deadpool and when he does his advertisements, those are some of his best work. And the zany Fortnite-esque world of Free Guy gives him that freedom to riff at almost Wade Wilson levels. You know, Wade Wilson is, of course, crazy, so he can just free associate and just go all over the place. But, you know, here, Guy does have to be somewhat normal. But it works really, really well. And speaking of Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, fantastically, speaking of his creative genius, filmed a very funny promo for Free Guy with his co-star Taika Waititi as his Marvel character. And that turned out great. But Taika Waititi is also given room to freestyle here with equally fabulous results. They are both fabulous improvisers, which I think is reflected in both of their business acumen. But they do a fantastic job here. Director Sean Levy is smart to just get out of their way. So yeah, on the surface and from the trailers, and definitely the first act of the movie, Free Guy is the Lego Movie meets Wreck-It Ralph, meets The Truman Show, with a sprinkling of Deadpool in there because, you know, it's Deadpool front and center. But as the story progresses, I was surprised by how much more that there is and how Free Guy becomes its own thing. For instance, it's surprisingly romantic. Again, another fantastic date movie. I was surprised. It was so romantic. I thought Jodie Comer and Ryan Reynolds have great chemistry. And then also, some of the complex questions it begins to ask about artificial intelligence were a welcome surprise. Like, how far would you go to save a digital life that could be snuffed out with the flick of a switch, right? What are the rights of those lives? And watching this movie, not only does it ask you that, but you realize that we might actually be having to deal with this in reality in the near future. And that will be I think a lot of AI is going to die based on the way people act, unfortunately. But, you know, I'll talk about it at the end here, but the message of this movie speaks to that, and I think that's another reason I liked this film so much. Now, the third act is also full of surprises. Oh, so great. And I'm disappointed to see that the movie itself is spoiling some of those surprises as it gets closer to release and just wants to sell you on the movie. So I would advise you to avoid all Free Guy advertisements and discussion from here on out and just go experience the movie for yourself. Now, will that be in theaters where it's opening exclusively August 13th? Or will you wait for whenever Disney decides to release it on PVOD? And we don't know when that will be. This is the first, you know, after doing the day and date release model, now Disney's switching to this theaters only and then a shortened theatrical window. Will it be 45 days like everyone else is doing? I think it will depend very much on the box office. Now, I think Free Guy is very, very good. And if you feel comfortable going to the theater right now, I would definitely check it out. I think it would be fun to see at any time. Like, it would be an incredible matinee if you want to go at a less crowded time. But if you don't feel comfortable going to the theater, it will be a fantastic stream. If this was a day and date release like Disney's previous films, for $30 even on Disney Plus, I think the movie would dominate. It's up there with Jungle Cruise, I think, for the best bang for your buck in terms of just getting everything, so much with the movie. Now, I saw a headline in the trades that was talking about how the fact that Free Guy is one of the few movies coming out right now that is not based on an already existing brand or franchise, that it's an original concept, which is so rare in Hollywood these days, which is true for movies in particular. But I don't think that even Free Guy is that original, to be honest with you, because it is so derivative. Not just because of the movies that I mentioned, but it's clearly based on Fortnite with a ton of gaming influencer cameos to boot. But also in the third act, the movie leans very heavily, but also very successfully, on some very popular Disney IP. I hope nobody ruins those surprises for you. They were great. But I would say that unlike most of the other movies coming out, where Free Guy does distinguish itself is, again, the most bang for your buck. It's funny. It's romantic. It's got action. It has a mystery. Fantastic VFX. I was saying Disney was having a VFX problem. I guess this is technically a Fox movie, but the VFX here are very good. Lots of world building. It poses those interesting and new questions about artificial intelligence. A huge cast of talented comedians. And a bunch of cameos and surprises. I thought the ending, to be fair, was a tad unsatisfying. I would have tweaked it a little bit, and I think there's a way to easily tweak it, although I can see why they decided to go the way that they did. But I still had an incredible time watching it, even though I found the ending a slight downer. Ryan Reynolds is, as I said, in top form here, and he is at his most Ryan Reynolds-y right after Deadpool. Jodie Comer, if you don't watch Killing Eve, you're missing out on how talented she is. But her movie career is taking off, and soon you won't be able to avoid her because she'll be everywhere as she should be. She is very well used here, and like with Jungle Cruise, it is so fantastic to see a leading lady who can hold her own opposite a very big personality male star. Keep it up, Hollywood. These power couples, I would say, are what we like to see. I love it. And this is probably the best thing I've seen Taika Waititi do as an actor. He is deliciously evil and hilarious here. I thought his jokes, he makes a lot of business jokes too, which you know I love, and they were fantastic. The rest of the cast all do a very nice job, although I have to say I was surprised that Joe Keery is lukewarm here considering how much he stands out in Stranger Things. That was a little weird. Even his hair didn't look as good. It was weird. Finally, the best thing about the movie, the message. I just loved that. And they're showing a very popular game that celebrates bad behavior. And so many things today celebrate and reward bad behavior. So to show the importance of being the good guy is a really refreshing and I feel needed change of pace. And I thought that was just a wonderful aspect of the movie. So that's my review of Free Guy, hitting theaters exclusively on August 13th and hopefully someday soon, PVOD. So are you going to see Free Guy, and where are you going to see it? Share your thoughts down below, subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.